So I started Epidiolex in the beginning of October. Um, and I was really excited because it's mainly CBD. I mean, it is only CBD. Anyways, basically, let's see. In October, I had one quick little seizure, but these little seizures are focal aware seizures. So like I'll see sparkles in a corner of my eye, and I will take emergency medication to make that go away. So if I didn't take the emergency med, the sparkle would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and kind of, it kind of like hits me in the face. I kind of want to like close my eyes and just, go like this, and then my body shaking. So luckily, when I have the emergency meds, I don't, I just take it real quick, and then it'll go away. And then it's kind of disappointing though, because it's like, well, shoot, that's technically counts as a seizure. I don't drive, so my goal is to be seizure free for at least 3 months, and I'll be able to drive. But it's not happening right now anytime soon, seems like. Um, I was doing keto for a long time. I recently stopped doing that when I started the Epidiolex. Um, so in November, I stopped counting carbs. Really, I'm still kind of cautious of it, but I eat chips now. Like I used to count what the serving is for the amount of carbs, and I would do that for everything. But now I don't do it. I'll have a few chips, knowing that I'm like, don't have a lot, just you can have a couple. Um, so I'm looking at my notes because I always keep track of when I have my seizures. Looks like November 5th, 13th, 20th, and the 27th of November. Those 4 days I had a seizure. But those are usually, I take my med, like I say, so I see the sparkles. And sometimes the medication doesn't work right away. Sometimes it'll take a while. I have to sit on the floor, make sure I'm not going to be standing, and if I fall, I'm going to, hit my head or something. So I always sit down and wait for the sparkles to go away. Um, December 15th and December 25th, so it was actually Christmas Day. So instead of 4 seizures a month, it went down to 2. So I was pretty happy about that. Um, one of the times I was in a car, I took my nose spray, went away real quick. December 25th, I had a fever, so I ended up going to like a urgent care real quick, and they tested me for COVID, and that triggered a seizure because they stuff up that whole, um, what is it called? You guys know, the thing that goes up and touches your brain. That triggered a seizure for me. It happened really quick. I remember blacking out. It triggered a grand mal, um, and uh, and then I remember just like kind of waking out of it. I'm on my side. My husband was with me, so he knows the drill pretty much. And he tried to stuff these meds in my mouth that go away because we didn't have a spray on hand. So I think he shoves them in my mouth and they like dissolve. I don't know if that made the seizure go away or if it just kind of did its time and then stopped when it you know stopped. Um, so yeah, so that triggered a grand mal. The last grand mal I had though was in June at a cruise, and that was actually my honeymoon. So that was unfortunate. But now it's 2024, January. I'm about to make this whole month without having a seizure, but I believe I still am having them. You know, the medicine is keeping them away, but at the same time, I'm still cautious all the time. There's not one day that goes by that I'm not thinking about, am I gonna have a seizure? Um, so, so like I said, 2024. Today I had an incident. January 7th, January 21st, January 23rd, and then today, January 27th. These are all just notes that I wrote down because I believe that I see the sparkle, but it goes away really quick. So it doesn't like still like come at me if I don't take my emergency meds. Um, so it's hard to say because the doctor thinks that I'm having subclinical seizures, which are seizures without noticing. So when I see the sparkle real quick, I think I'm gonna need my emergency med, but then it goes away. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't need it then because nothing's happening. I just see, that little sparkle goes away, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that's that. But now that they're happening more often during the month, I'm just like, crap. Like, these are still technically seizures, so it's not like I'm being seizure free because I'm still worried. Like, I'm in the vehicle and, I'm wearing my sunglasses and just looking up at the sky, it is too bright for me to feel comfortable because the light and like police car lights, I'm just constantly like looking down. I'm like, I don't want to look up, even though I kind of want to look around. It just makes me nervous and it scares me. So that's the part where I'm just frustrated because I'm just worrying all the time. I can't like go on a walk and feel comfortable just to like look at the sky, look at the birds. It's always gotta have my shades on. I gotta make sure I have my emergency meds. Usually I'll look down, look at my feet, walk in, look at the street. When I try to look at the houses, I'm like, oh shoot, it's kind of getting brighter, and it's frustrating. Um, so I want to say I'm thankful that I'm not having grand mal seizures often, but it is it's still something that I'm going through. I'm trying to get used to it, and I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of anxiety. I feel like I'm having more like panic attacks, and I'm not too sure if those like panic attacks are like I get real like just I want to stay in one spot because I feel like if I'm moving, like my arm will shake, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me just put it back, and I'll be fine. So I don't know. I know epilepsy is different for everybody. It's confusing. Um, but just know that there are a lot of us in this situation. I know I don't have the worst end of things, um, but it's still a struggle. There's still this community that, for me, I've held it in. Like I'm not open to talking about epilepsy to people that you know don't really know much about it. When I bring up the word epilepsy, people freak out. And when I was told I was diagnosed, I started crying immediately. Like, I didn't know all the details, but I just knew that that was changing my life forever and that I would have to learn from the beginning, starting somewhere. So, and I don't even know the half of it. So, it's learning process. Got to remind myself I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people in my boat too that feel alone, sad, like just lost. And I mean, that's pretty much where I feel right now. I mean, I think I'm doing better than I did the first year. First year was miserable. I mean, it's so hard all the time. Like, I'm not saying it's I just remember first year I got diagnosed. I had to move in with my mom, and I just felt like a little kid again. I couldn't drive, living with my mom. I wasn't working anymore, and I felt like I had to start from scratch. Like I said, there's a lot of people in worse situations and scenarios, but we all have different stories and we all deal with it a different way. And I just want to let people know that I'm here to listen. I want to hear people's stories, and um, I think people that have seizures should talk about it more. Let people know what it is. You're still a person. You're still, you know, able to do things, hang out with others in a group setting, and you just want to let them know, like, hey, I have epilepsy. If I have a seizure, this is what to do. But like I said, everyone's different. Everyone has a different story, different types of seizures. There's like 40 plus types of seizures. And I don't even know the half of them. So I would love to know more about people's seizure experiences and just anything that you want to throw out there. There's a lot more I want to talk about, that's for sure. But I got to start somewhere. I'm not a very open person. I'm more reserved and shy, but when it comes to this, I'm willing to express and open up because I feel like this is my calling. And I just want to help people feel more comfortable opening up and talking about this. Um, so that's what I got to say for now. Um, there's a lot more to it, but and I've been diagnosed for about 3 years, so it's still really new to me. I'm 26, turning 27 in March, and I know I have, my whole life to live, which never really thought about, never really cared to think about, but now I'm in this situation. I want to know what my future holds and what I can do to help other people that are going through the same thing because it's hard. It is. And you would think that it wouldn't happen to you, or maybe you were born with it and then you're just like, why me? So that's all I got to say so far. Thank you for watching, and ask me questions, comments, whatever. I would love to hear from you. Thank you.